Welcome to our Q&A call. This is Rhonda Liebig. This is a chance to get to know me. I'm going to be doing some coaching today and really focusing in on just pure, let's get to know this chronic disease that we're dealing with chronic disease with diabetes. How are we going to really reset the body to be able to live a more balanced life? Not really be concerned about the hypoglycemic episodes or the sugar, the A1C being too high. So let's get right into it, and let's just take a couple breaths to really start off and really get the day refreshed and going again. So we're going to take a nice big inhale. Just going to roll your shoulders back and just kind of shake it out. Now what we're doing is taking another big inhale, and you're really thinking about balancing the body, clearing the mind, and getting into action. American Diabetes, I do a lot of research, and the American Diabetes Association do a lot of research on what's happening these days and with our diabetes. But it has been increasing, or about 10% of our population has been diagnosed with having diabetes, and there's a small percentage there that has not been diagnosed. So each year it keeps increasing. And what they're finding is that, and me as a health coach and supporting you, is that it has a lot to do with overdoing it in life and not having the balance to really counterbalance that, and along with it running in your family, and so your body's being more sensitive than just maybe one of your friends that doesn't have it run in their family. But you have to be aware of how you're eating and connect that with how you're going to be able to balance your life. And you know what's interesting, if you don't know this yet, that if you have diabetes, you have double the chance of having a heart attack. So we'll wrap in some heart attack, heart health, information in for today. But it's the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. So really, really something to be concerned about. But my drive and my inspiration to be taking care of the focus in diabetes is not just to make this world a better place to be, but to really focus in on what's something that has inspired me to be part of this health crusade. This has to do with my dad. And my dad's a really, really nice guy. Just looking at his face makes me really miss him. And today is the day that he passed away. And it was 9 years ago. My dad passed away. He passed away from a heart attack. He was working out. He was doing his insulin, and he thought he was just fine, working along with, with the doctors, and thinking that he was going along, he was going to be fine. But Dad, was just, what we deal with is that he really didn't understand the food connection and how he could really heal some of the symptoms he was having, and also he was dealing with some stress, and so dealing with the stress. And actually, he passed away on the 28th, so in a couple days, but I knew it was coming up. And he was only 57, so you think about it, being so young and dealing with this terrible disease, that if you start balancing your body and really getting yourself into action and focusing in on what you're doing to yourself each time you put a meal, you sit down for a meal and you're putting food in your mouth and you're thinking about your digestion process, think about just a general person like my dad, and how you're feeling and how easy it is for things to go bad if you're not taking care of the symptoms that you're having. So today is a lot about diabetic healing, really focusing in on results for decreased aging factor. When your sugar levels go up, there's a lot of extra insulin. If you're insulin resistant, so you have a lot of extra insulin in your body that really, just because your cells are not accepting it, that's going to affect your aging factor. So the more that you can be balanced in bringing down the foods that have high fat that are not good for you. We're not talking avocados. We're talking like stuff that's in the deep fryer, that's not working for your body. Your body's not digesting it. And also you're eating to increase skinny. With having the insulin in the system, it's very difficult also with the midsection and being able to release your stomach. So you do that by choosing the right foods. And it's not going on a diet, it's seeing your food as your medicine and what you're going to be putting in there to take care of it. And also decreased aging factor. When you're feeling like you are stressed out, when you start eating healthy foods, it helps you with dealing with life stress. So stress can be from not having enough life balance or not eating the right foods. But once you start implementing the stuff that I'm going to share with you today, it'll really help with getting you the results if you really step into action today. What is diabetes and your A1C? I know that you most likely already know that. And the slide is up here just to kind of get you thinking about how did you get here? I have a current client right now that is questioning, well, how did I get diabetes? I don't have it running in my family. And looking at the way that she eats pretty good. But when we started talking about her stress level, her body just got so worn out from just some certain things happened in her life that became a very, very stressful situation. And she's linking it to that might be it. That's what really just her body got tired. Because, as soon as your body's not in balance, then you have your adrenal gland, which is the fight or flight, the one that really releases the cortisol, releases this a lot of different hormones to help you balance your body. But it's always there for you when you're sick. And when you start wearing out your that gland, then your adrenal gland is trying to compensate for your diabetic symptoms. You want to be able to bring that all together and start balancing your system so your body's not overworking. And so you just want to think about, what's in your life right now that you could change or adjust that might be able to help you to having less stress related with what diabetes is doing to your body. So it's a good way to just think about it. You think about your kidneys, your pancreas, and your heart, because this all focuses on your energy and your bloat and being able to live a regular life where you're not being concerned, when you have to take your insulin, and when you start really balancing your body, everything starts coming together with your kidneys working really good, because your kidneys can be very affected. You can have some issues with your kidneys if you don't have everything in balance, because the kidneys is what really takes over for anything dealing with your system with water and a lot of toxins in your system. It's going to affect the pancreas. It's also going to affect the kidneys. Your pancreas is going to be affected when you are overworking it. So if your pancreas does not put enough insulin out there and you're eating a lot of foods that are not balancing your system, and you're just, injecting yourself with insulin, or you are not injecting yourself with insulin, but you're trying to get this pancreas to work, that can be overworking your pancreas. So you have to think about your organs and what they're doing for you. And your heart protectors that really take care of your body, they're going to really come down, and the protectors in the body, and not be able to take care of the heart. So you want to be very careful with all of this area. And we also talked about the adrenal gland too, which could be another part here. But this affects your energy and affects your bloat. When you're bloated, you're not going to have as much energy. So we already talked about the 10% of the population has been diagnosed. Cost of diabetes, you can see it right here. Again, it's from the American Diabetes Association. And it gets really, really expensive, because there's so many things that happen related with diabetes, and it has to do with heart attack, having problems with, just getting sick easier, because your palate, because your system is not being able to regulate itself. And once it feels sick, you're going to start having some issues with it being able to really reset and really set your day to where your body functions in a way that's not functioning like in an illness way, but more functioning in a wellness way. So being with me today is really about just having a wellness program. And if you basically are not stepping into action, you're going to have your sugar levels going really high, which is blood vessels can be damaged, heart disease, stroke, vision, kidney failure, and amputation, of course, because you're dealing with circulation, and the amputation can happen with fingers and then go with bigger. And how this affects your day, when you think about how your day goes along and how you may have these energy slumps, and what the insides of your body are trying to do to keep it all balanced. So you'll notice here the list is really long. You can have overuse of your organs, hazy in the head. Have you ever been in a situation where you're trying to use the computer, and you're trying to do your work, and you realize that your brain is just not functioning the way that you want to? That's your haziness. Hungry quick, because your fluctuations are happening, your body's not balanced, which means sometimes you're reaching for foods that aren't good for you. And we'll reach for more food because you're feeling overly hungry. It becomes a bad cycle and feel emotionally that it is your that it is your fault. Why is it not? You know, weight gain, not fitting in clothes, premature aging. When you think about sugar, the stickiness that happens within your sugar, that with your system, if it has extra natural sugar in there, it's going to stick together, that stickiness, and it helps the premature aging happening really quick. So you want to be careful with that, because as soon as you start eating healthier foods, you'll find that the aging factor is going to come down. Low energy because you're dealing with your pancreas and your cells are really toxic. So you want to be able to choose the right foods to get your energy going. And also, this is when you step in with arthritis, joint pain, muscle pain. That's when you have kidney stones and your body is really highly off balance, and your immune deficiency, because we talked just a little bit about how the immunity is, your immune system goes down, because about 60% of your immunity is around your digestive tract. You know what? It's been found to contribute to cancer. So let's talk about foods that that you really want to add in. And so this word acidity, if you haven't heard it before, there's a balance that happens in your body which is called alkaline. That means your body's in balance, that your cells are working where they're supposed to be working, that there's not inflammation in the body, that the cells are accepting the insulin, that the cells are really clean, that the DNA has not been changed based on the life stress, based on your foods. And you start getting into your life where your body's feeling more alkaline. Well, if it is acidic, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen when you have a better chance of what we were talking about the slides here, with having arthritis, joint pain, with dealing with immune issues. Kidney stones, if you know anybody that has kidney stones, kidneys are when your body's really highly acidic and it starts bringing stones into the kidneys. But all of this right here is when you are feeling highly acidic. These foods right here I picked because they are foods that will help balance you. So it's so funny, this is papayas, which is not, I think autocorrect got me there, but it's papaya. So sorry about that. But mangoes have a lot of sugar in it. So when you're doing mangoes, there's some fiber there, but make sure you're balancing it with you're just not eating the mangoes by itself. So adding some kind of a fibrous vegetable along with it. But spinach, artichoke, Brussels sprouts, cucumbers is a perfect thing to add into your morning smoothies. If you're doing morning smoothies, carrots, broccoli, asparagus, mangoes, papaya, and pears. Now, anything for this area is all related with circulation also. And you're dealing with low heart, healthy heart on dealing with a low glycemic index. In the low glycemic index, you want to stay in foods that aren't real starchy. They're not going to go into your system and being seen as sugar. So when you start looking at labels, you're going to notice that the foods that you are eating may be good for you or may not. So you have to look at the sugars and really know if it's where it sits on the glycemic index. You know how I really view it, which is real basic, is see how much fiber is in there. Because if you're eating something with a lot of fiber, then you're in the low glycemic index. And make sure that you're adding in working out to help balance the acidity. No smoking. If you're smoking right now, it just brings in the issues of the circulation with the heart. And it also does not help with having diabetes and dealing with smoking, because you want something to help decongest all that. Foods that are low in the glycemic index. So if you haven't used the glycemic index before, you want to go with sweet potatoes, yams, peas, lentils, carrots. Also, if you're dealing with any kind of bread, you want something that's 100% whole wheat, not just something that says whole wheat, but 100% whole wheat. Oatmeal is wonderful because this has a soluble fiber which is going to come soak into your system, and as it's going through your digestive tract, it's going to soak up any of the extra cholesterol. So you want that stuff when you are dealing with you want heart health, and also foods that are going to keep your sugar levels balanced. You know what I thought about adding today is this the mouth symptoms. Why I wanted to add that is I haven't really made this announcement yet, but I've been building a dental hygienist health coaching program. So for dentists, for dental hygienists, being health coaches, and we go through all these different symptoms that you can have with every kind of disease that that you're going to be seeing. And so think about this: when you're chewing your food, do you have any of these going on? Painful chewing, difficulties, or even tooth loss, so you have looseness in with your gums, dry mouth, thrush, soreness, ulcers, infections, and tooth decay. So if you're having some issues with your teeth, be very aware of how you can balance it based on these symptoms these foods that we talked about. You can do spinach in a shake if you really don't like the taste. If you do, put it in a salad. Put it in and cook it if you like it being cooked. So it's all up to you and what makes you happy and what you like to eat. Look through the list here and start adding those foods. So when we talk about the balance in your life, how we started off the beginning of this video, and we're taking nice, soothing, deep breaths in and out. I want you to think about that, because when you start implementing just the breathing and really taking time out for yourself to just do 2 breaths or 4, we always think that we don't have time, but if you take a moment just to think about how your body is feeling and how much better it feels once you add in those breaths. So up here we were talking about your body being acidic. So it's not always about the foods, but it's mainly the foods. But the other part here is that when your body isn't balanced with life balance, you're going to have some problems with having a highly acidic body. So implementing these foods and also being in touch with how much stress that you have in your life. And the best way to add your breathing exercises is putting a timer on the calendar. I was thinking about this. I was talking to a client this morning, and we were discussing how she wanted to implement stretching into her day because her body is just not feeling very good. It's getting really tight in certain areas. And so we were talking about, like, what's the best way to do that? Because her schedule is so radical. Like, she doesn't know if she's going to be, with the client at 10 o'clock or if she's going to be available at 10 o'clock. And it's not consistent every day. It just depends on how her schedule builds. And she was discussing how is she going to remind herself? So how are you going to remind yourself to take those breaths? Same thing with her. How is she going to remind herself to start stretching? And so we thought, you know what, the best thing at this point for her to do is to have the timer go off, so then at least she has a reminder. And if she's in, somewhere where she's in a, big discussion with a client or whatever, she can, set that off, maybe even write herself a note. And so I want you to think about that, about implementing 2 cycles of breaths in each day. And to have the life balance and be connected with your journey and being able to take care of your body, and to start working on not just the food but also the life balance. So as soon as you have that moment, you want to stop and really get yourself in check of how you are feeling each time you do the breathing exercise, because the more consistent you are, the more you're going to find the calmness and the serenity, the approach in life that you are going to be able to do kick butt every day, because you're going to be able to balance the brain fog that's happening because we get really messed up when we're not eating right. And then also when we are go, because then we're going to use our reserves of energy, and you really want to keep your body balanced throughout the entire day. So with all of these and really stepping into action and getting things done, I want to tell you that there is a way for me to be able to be part of this process also. So take these tips and really step into your pain points, the things that aren't working for you, and how this affects your day. Think about the overuse of the organs by making your body work harder when you're not choosing the right foods or the lifestyle that's working for you. And really thinking about how this connection and being able to make better choices in your life is going to make it to where your body is going to be more alkaline, more balanced, like these people in the picture. And add these foods. Take a snapshot of this picture. Make sure that you get these foods, and put this to your master grocery list. Every time you meet up with me on the Tuesday call, we'll be discussing different foods, and it'll give you a chance to start building your master grocery list. So I have a service that I'd love to share with you, because the things that we're talking about, and the other area is the mental sabotages, which is a big deal for my 2-week jumpstart. And it's called Fit Camp, and it's actually a reset for your mind and body, because you're going to be working out, but you're also going to be having a reset in your blood sugar, because you're going to learn about how your body feels once you consistently eating healthy food for 2 weeks. And you're going to get the results like what I talked about earlier. You're going to be excited about working out, because you're going to learn your connection to your working out, how much it makes you feel, especially with when you're working with a coach. It's a wonderful connection that you can have with what your workouts are doing for you. And we talked about the aging factor and increased skinny, because we want the midsection lower. We want to take care of that midsection, because it's a heavy connection with high cholesterol, with your body being inflamed, and directly to your heart. You want to decrease your stress factor. And so this at rhondaliebig.com, you're going to go to Fit Camp with a double T. And this generally, if you'll go into the 57, you're going to see that this one that's $57, when you go into my regular general website, it's $97. So you're getting quite a big deal there. This is where we're going to have your meal together. You're going to have a master grocery list when you go in, and you're going to really learn about the foods that are working for you. We're going to have you be documenting your food, and the recipes that you're going to get are real basic recipes. Also, you're going to be committing a big commitment to yourself in your workouts. And you're going to have a schedule where you can plan your workouts and your commitment to yourself for the 2 weeks that you are with me. Also, you have your mental coaching and dealing with your sabotages and coming to the point where you really feel good, and it's a great reset. rhondaliebig.com, Fit-57. Fit is F-I-T-T with a double T, but this is for you when you are concerned about your aging factor and learning about what kind of foods you can do to help with this decreasing the aging factor. This is what you're going to be learning, some great holistic stuff that's going to tap you into how your body is doing. You're going to learn about your organs and the way that you can be eating to really help, so you don't get all of the stuff we talked about above in the earlier part of the video about just the different stones that happen in your organs, and dealing with your organs being overworked, the pancreas being overworked, the kidneys. So you have to be ready and very excited to step into your workouts. This Fit Camp is for you if you're ready to decrease your aging factor. Fit Camp is for you if you're ready to learn how to eat to increase skinny. You're ready to get away from the diet and add in foods and really connect with why you're choosing certain foods. Not that you're just trying to have increased skinny, but the foods that are your medicine, so the byproduct is that all of a sudden your body is losing weight. You're ready to decrease the stress factor, ready to learn weight loss tools to keep your weight off permanently. When you're learning through this coaching program in just the 2 weeks, you're going to learn certain things that you can do that will help control your weight based on understanding how your body's working and some of the issues that you may be having. And the doctor at this point may say that you are basically in line with your blood results, but if you're still feeling like you're not feeling well, then this is where it comes down to really listening to your body, and this is how you learn how to do it in this 2-week Fit Camp, is really learning how your body is feeling and what you can do for it. You're ready to learn how to burn fat fast through eating life balance. If your body is highly acidic, like what we talked about, or if you have high insulin in there, there's no way that you're going to be able to do any kind of fat burning. So you're going to have more body fat than regular. So you want to be able to learn how to get rid of your fat. Ready to leave the mental sabotages behind. When you meet up in Fit Camp, this is all virtual, you're going to learn how to leave certain sabotages behind. You're really going to be able to connect with when you're growing up and how things felt to what you're doing now, and being able to connect with what has really stopped you from really stepping into action and really taking care of yourself the way that we talked to above. So if this sounds great for you, you're going to learn how to bring connection to your kitchen. You're going to have 5 live bonus calls, lifetime Facebook Fit Camp group. So in there, in Facebook, you have a private group where you get inspirational quotes. You can add stuff there. You can talk about the struggles you're having or your wonderful things that happened through Fit Camp. But you'll get instant access once you get into, step into this $57 service. You can only get it through here on the Tuesday workshops and Q&A. So I want you to go into rhondaliebig.com, Fit Camp with F-I-T-T with a double T with the fit. And on there you are going to be able to pick a date that's threaded throughout this year. You can step into the one that's, I believe, September coming up, which is in a few weeks. Or there's one that's right before Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving, and before Christmas. So there's ways to really reset your system so you're ready for the next holiday, or you want to do it all before. And then you're going to go to the website and you'll find out that you get 100% refund guarantee. So you want to make sure you read through that if it's something that you're concerned about. And you really want to sign up now. So rhondaliebig.com, L-I-E-B-I-G, fit with a double T hyphen 57. I would love for you to spend some time with me, learn even more stuff than what I was able to coach with today on Tuesday for your Q&A. And I look forward to seeing you next week. If this is something that you want to step into week by week, I'd love to hear from you. And you have a fit day, and I'll catch up with you next Tuesday.